Hi folks, we're back again with the HMV 2807. Been a wee while since I've done anything to this set, but I decided that I was going to try and see if I could improve the focus and improve the EHT. Now, as we know, these sets are very low in EHT anyway. They don't have a particularly high EHT. It's usually around about 4 or 5 kV if you're lucky. We have this banding issue on my phone, which is not a lot I can do about, unfortunately. This is just the type of phone I have. Anyway, it was suggested to me to put a 0.1 capacitor between the cathode of the line output valve and chassis, which is a logical thing to do, because the way this set works is the actual drive, the focus is actually done by varying the resistance of the cathode by a pot. So obviously you want as much drive as you can possibly get. So the idea actually with these is to let it warm up for a good 15-20 minutes, and then you adjust the focus control to maximum, right, and then you set the scan coil position on the tube. So this is what I've done. In fact, the magnet position to the scan coils. In fact, what I've had to do is push it right up towards the scan coils as far as it will go. That's the optimum focus point when you have that control set at maximum. Now, focus is a lot better. This is getting run at quite high contrast at the moment. And I have to say, in brightness, it is actually quite bright. It's maybe just a bit too bright. In fact, I think there's a bit too much contrast. I'll just reduce that slightly. It's a bit better. And we can bring up the brightness a bit. There we go. That's much better. So I have to say, it's very bright. You know, we've got the lights on, as you can see. The lights are on in here, and it's you know, and there's light coming in from the side window. Although I have closed the blinds because you get reflections. But it's beautifully watchable. I have to say, it's really quite good. It has made a big difference. So this tube that we got the beginning of the year from, in fact, it was before the beginning of the year. It was the back end of last year. I got from Peter Scott. Is holding up extremely well. It's doing extremely good here. So in actual fact, doing that small modification has given me about 700 to 800 volts more EHT. We're not a kick in the shirt off 6 kV, which is good, which is certainly good for these tubes. And one of the theories I've always had is, one of the reasons why tubes probably go down is, you mean the anode current is microamps. It's very low on a tube. So really, there used to be an old adage, oh, don't run a TV with the brightness too high or the contrast too high. And I sometimes think that was the wrong thing to say. You want a bit of current coming from that heater, so you don't land up with cathode poisoning. So that's my theory. And don't forget, what we do is when we boost a tube with the slow method, we're actually pulling a bit of current from the cathode. We could be trying to pull around about 10 milliamps from the cathode of the tube, between the cathode and the grid. So that's what cleans the cathode off and improves the emission. So what we want to do is aim for a bit more EHT, aim for a bit more brightness and contrast, run it as basically as hard as we can to keep that cathode working as an emissive zone, not as something that's just sitting there ticking over. So that's my theory, and that's what I think. So anyway, it has made a big difference. It's vastly improved the focus. On the bright whites, it was defocused, whereas on the greys and the duller parts of the screen, the focus was okay. Now we seem to that although it still occurs, is far less than it was. So that has improved the overall picture quality of the set. So I have to say, it's working very nice. It still suffers with this jitter, but I'm kind of reluctant to do anything about it. I have a funny feeling it's either the scan coils or the frame transformer. It does go away the more it's watched, it's on, as it warms up. So it does make me think there's something not quite right. But I'm not particularly bothered about that. It's, put it this way, it's a trait of the set, and these sets were never ever reckoned to be particularly good or particularly reliable. And if that's the only fault that the set has now, I'm more than pleased. you know, you've got to show your friends that this set is now working far better than it ever did. But I still got this little issue. So there you go. That's my take on it. Sorry about the banding on the picture, but I'm viewing this from a distance, so it's not as noticeable. You can see the reflection of the light, unfortunately, there. There you go, that helps. But I have to say, if I bring this camera in, it's not going to look good. It's going to band like blazes. You can probably see the reflection of me in there as well. Yeah, you can see how good the focus is. You can see the line structure. Everything's fine there, so I do not have a problem with what I've done. Oh yeah, I put my hand up so the light is getting, in fact I could do with something to just stop the light getting through there. I'll put that, there you go, that's better. But even in that bright scene there, you can see, okay, a wee tiny bit of defocusing, but come on, that's not bad for one of these tubes, let's be fair. So there you go, I thought I'd let you see the change that we've done to it as well. And we've got something else that's so good. Sound! So there you go. That's it. So we're very pleased with that. What the future is for this set, I don't know. I'm kind of having some thoughts about my collection of stuff, about what we're going to be doing with it. I'm kind of changing my direction a bit at this time into amateur stuff at the moment. TRU SDXs, the little, well, the old Trio, my Eddystone I'm going to have to finish off. It's not bad now, I have to say, and these Heath kits that I've got that I want to bring back to full working order. So these items are on the list. So anyway, that's the set, that's it. I'm very happy with the way it's working, very pleased with improvement in picture quality and focus and its brightness. So there you go. Okay, a little thought for anybody that's wanting to do that, a 0.1 microfarad 100 nano between the cathode of the KT38 line output valve and chassis. That brings up the EHT notably. And you still have the focus control, still works, it still does what it should do, and but try and set it for as near to maximum output. And you'll notice that's clockwise of the control to give you the best results overall. Okay, thanks guys, you take care and look after yourself. 73s.